Hey everybody, so today's video is going to be about overweight pet rats, and I did want to mention that Uno hasn't been really feeling the greatest, so you might notice that he is not himself in this video. I did start him on some medication, so hopefully he will begin to perk up. I also wanted to mention that this is actually a collaboration video with Meghan from Happy Tales Pets. I will go ahead and post all of her information below. Meghan has a really fun channel with all different types of animals, including livestock like horses and goats, and she has a cute pig named Petunia. She also has all kinds of small animals like hedgehogs and sugar gliders, a short-tailed possum, and she even has some birds as well as some reptiles. I found her channel because, of course, she also has rats. She seems to be really knowledgeable about all the different animals that she has, and I also suggest checking out her Instagram for a lot of great photos. You can head over to Meghan's channel to get the second part of this video, which is the opposite of what I'm doing, which is how to help your rat gain weight if they are having a hard time putting on weight, or if they're sick, or they just need to be plumped up a little bit. So first off, all rats, like other animals and people, come in all different shapes and sizes, and depending on genetics, a lot of times the weight can vary. There's no actual set weight that a male or female rat should weigh. But in general, female rats should weigh between 230 grams and 400 grams when they are full grown. And adult males should weigh between 300 grams to about 550 to 600 grams. Again, this all depends on your rat's genetics. Weighing your rats on a regular basis can be really important, and I'll go ahead and post my video below on how to weigh your pet rats. Another way to tell if you have an overweight rat is just have them walk on the ground like Uno is here. He's having a little trouble, but check between the shoulders and the waist, and if there's a little round belly in the middle, then your rat is probably a little overweight. You can also check by putting them on their hind legs, and if their belly is kind of poochy like Uno's and dragging on the ground, then that's not a good sign. You can also just look at them from the side, and if their belly begins to kind of pancake out, then they're probably a little bit overweight. Do keep in mind that sometimes rats will have loose skin, especially when they're relaxed, and as Uno is getting older, his skin is getting loose. He is losing some weight, but he also has loose skin, so take that in consideration when you're looking at your rat. Here's Zara, so you can see the difference between a rat that is a good weight compared to Uno, who is overweight. And you can see the width between her shoulders and her hip area. There is no bulge. And I did want to bring Durian out so you can see that I'm probably going to have to keep an eye on him because he's super lazy and all he wants to do is eat all the time. But as of right now, he's a pretty good weight, and he's still pretty young, but he's considered a fully grown rat. But even just holding him compared to a rat like Zara or Casimir, they're both pretty sturdy. He's just kind of fluffy and smushy. His skin even feels a little different, like it has more elasticity to it. So I do feel as if genetics plays a big part in how much your rat weighs. So here you can see that his belly is a good size right now, but I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on it. So when it comes to diet, you want to make sure that you actually have a good quality food to begin with. If you're giving your rats complete junk, then they will most likely end up being overweight. I also feed my rats vegetables every night and fruit about 2 to 3 times a week, so they can kind of fill up on good fresh food instead of just gobbling down seed mix or the oxbow pellets all night long. If your rat is really obese and definitely needs to lose some weight, then you're going to have to figure out how much the rats are eating in a 24-hour period and take away 10 to 25% of the food for that day. You can also start scatter feeding, especially if you have loose bedding. So go ahead and sprinkle the food throughout the bedding, and this will also promote foraging, and it also will have the rat kind of have to work a little bit to get the food. Uno is totally famous for sleeping right beside the bowl, so he's able to jump on it and he will literally sit over the bowl and just eat and eat and eat. You're also going to want to avoid high fatty foods that rats normally eat, like seeds or nuts, or also high fatty vegetables like bananas or avocado. The main problem I have is I usually only have one fat rat at a time, so it's kind of hard to regulate who's eating what, but it is suggested that you remove the chubby rat for 20 to 30 minutes during feeding time, and that should help the others get what they need, and then when you add your chubby rat back into the cage, there isn't so much for him to eat. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, genetics can play a big part in how much your rat weighs, but there are a few other things that you might want to consider when dealing with an overweight rat. The first one and the most common is just a bad diet. A lot of foods in most pet stores that are geared for rats and mice have a ton of junk in it, and a lot of times it's just not good for them. I've also noticed that a lot of people just feed their rats dog food, and I will post my video below on supplementing protein. Dog food is definitely not to be given to them as a full-time diet. It's too high in protein and fat. Another thing is just a food hoarder, and I definitely think this is Uno's problem. When he was younger and I had him in the cage with Iona and Ingrid, they would food bully him, and I think it kind of gave him a little bit of a complex. Sometimes I would catch them bullying him and they wouldn't let him get to the food bowl. So gradually he would get worse. He was always snatching treats out of my hand, which normally was not his personality. And he also started sleeping near the food bowl, so anytime it was filled, he was there before anybody else was. Rats are natural hoarders, so that could also play a part in this. The next thing you want to consider is some kind of illness. Serious medical problems can lead to obesity. Also, diabetes can lead to obesity. So if you do feel as if your rat is unnaturally large for their food intake, then I would go ahead and suggest taking them to the vet. So I hope this video helped you guys. Don't forget to check out Meghan's channel to find out how to help rats that need to put on weight. If you have any questions, just leave them below, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.